This Is Me from
Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman, yeah.
Great song.
Which is, and my son, because he did NYSSMA vocals, he did NYSSMA drums and NYSSMA vocals, we got him to a vocals coach. And he's got a great voice for a 12-year-old, and he's a soprano. And we have him do the sheet music for one, and the sheet music for This Is Me, and it's really complicated. It's really complicated. And it's like, and the funny thing about U2 is it was always 3 chords, and I'm like, this is one song that's not 3 chords, and the chorus is a different. It's like A major here, and then it's like, what the heck? They're changing here. It's very odd. And then This Is Me changes all over the place, and it's really weird.
This Is Me is more rhythmic,
and it's that modern sound that all like the super producers are doing nowadays, where they produce all the it's like clearly it's an in studio production kind of piece is what it is. And they're doing a song from Wicked, which we're going to see the day before Father's Day with the chorus. We're going to see Wicked, which everyone raves about, so we'll see that. So it's
great. You'll love it. I've been to it. It's great. It's great.
I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun, and I love it because I love eating in the Broadway area. There's so many good restaurants.
That's the only acceptable time, I think, as a New Yorker. You can go to Times Square. Is it like if you go to a Broadway show? It's
the craziest thing when you're walking through Times Square, no matter after the show at like 12 midnight or whatever. It's like Fenway Park. It is so bright. You're walking through. You don't know what time of day it is. It's so bright. You have no idea what time of day.
It's required by law.
And it was really weird because I used to remember walking back from 34th Street to 34. Between Penn and Times Square, 35, 36, 37, were always scary blocks when I was in my 20s in the 90s. Were scary. Now it's not, but it was always scary blocks because you'd be leaving civilization, which is hilarious to refer to Times Square because I'm still of the age where I saw Times Square with the Runaways and with the peep shows and before it got Disneyfied.
See, the thing is, though, a lot of people have a hard time when that adjustment happens, when a neighborhood adjusts. So, like... Now
it gentrifies.
Not really gentrifies. I wouldn't say Times Square gentrified. I just think it got better.
It corporified.
Yeah. It's different. It's different than Brooklyn.
I mean, it's funny because the neighborhood Hell's Kitchen. The reason they called it the most apt name ever. Hell's Kitchen. What's the hottest part of a house? Kitchen, right? What's the hardest part of hell? The kitchen. Hell's Kitchen. What a great name. But now it's Clinton. It's like it's been gentrified. What? It's at restaurants and bars and bakeries and dog grooming places, and it's not Hell's Kitchen anymore. It's so quaint. It's just a different kind of place. And then all the hipsters in Brooklyn. I mean, they even went. They don't give a hoot. They went to Williamsburg.
And I don't give a darn.
It's like
that's a shortstop. Oh my God! I have the best story to tell you. I was running. I'm actually in the middle of trying to train to do a marathon, but I was running. Yeah, I'm going to try and do the New York City Marathon this year.
October.
How about Long Island?
I'm trying to. Well, I found out, by the way, it's way harder to get into than you think. So you have to
New York City.
You have to do a whole bunch of stuff. You need to have like credited half marathons and all this stuff. So I'm like running, and all of a sudden, like for one of my radio prod classes thing, I used a bit from Who's on First, and it comes on, and I couldn't bring myself to turn it off. So I'm sweating my butt off, jogging and just laughing, and everybody's looking at me because it's crowded. It's like 4:30 around my block. Kids are coming home from school, and I'm just laughing. And all these kids are like, "Mommy, who's that weird guy?" I'm just like, "Oh, come on, we got a couple of days on the field. I can't help that." Oh my God!
It's in the Hall of Fame.
It is. Yeah. They're only 2 people never to play baseball in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Right, Abbott and Costello.
No, there's also fans too. They have a fan section.
Yeah, but in terms of being
actually formally inducted.
Yeah, but there's an exhibit with fans.
Yeah, which is that's just throwing a bone. 516-572-7440. 516-572-7440. It's Sports Talk. Nick Ornberger, Bart Tarkovsky, Cameron Bonagora. I'm Chris Muldoon. I'm Tristan Hamilton on assignment. We'd love to hear your voice chiming in at 516-572-7440. And then the show is Sports Talk. We're here every Thursday evening, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. We've had a lot to talk about today. I think that national anthem thing's been beaten to death. I think what Mark said about just getting people talking football year round. I think Francesa wants to make a thing about it because let's face it, Francesa is a Trump fan. So to him, it's a thing to go and keep beating a dead horse because it is a dead horse. Like whatever, they stand, they don't stand. I don't care.
But you know what? You know what the thing is? The biggest thing about it is the NFL could quash this immediately, and by doing it one way or the other, if they come hard out against it. If they come hard out against it, you say, hey, listen, you kneel down, you get fined and suspended. You do it a second time, you're out for a season. You do it third time, lifetime ban. End of story. They could knock it out all like that. People would be mad. It would be an issue, but it would go away at some point because players would adhere.
I lose my constitutional... I'm sorry.
No, the other side of it is if you totally legalize it, you take the power out of their hands because now it doesn't matter what you do. Anybody can kneel or stand for the national anthem. Go for it.
I lose my constitutional rights at work all the time.
Yeah, so do I.
And then if someone's all sport, someone says, "Oh, it's ironic." They say, "Land of the free, home of the brave." Here's the thing: the Yankees. I want to have a beard. If I'm on the Yankees, can I have a beard?
No.
Why not?
You shave that
It's
off.
a free country, though, right? Isn't it? No. Why? Why can't I have a beard? Because it's the Yankees' policy that players
coming
can't
to the
have
Islanders soon as well.
No, really?
Well, because of Lou Lamoriello.
Oh, really?
He has this thing.
See,
where he has to shave off your beard.
And that's the way I look at it, too. As far as from the player standpoint, like, our First Amendment rights, I say horse pucky. If Johnny Damon has to shave his hair and beard for the Yankees, you have to stand for the national anthem.
That's
and that's not me, because I agree with their stance, what they're trying to speak out for. And I agree, hey, you want to do that, go for it. But just understand, you have the right to lose your
They're
job
not
also.
asking you to be a Nazi.
Exactly.
This is not what the Nazi soldiers said at Nuremberg. I was following orders when I did that. No. This is not... okay, you're standing for the national anthem. You are not supporting the police brutality, the extermination of... What you're not doing... You're just supporting the song.
Right?
And it's not one of those things. And I hate the whole thing of the military, whatever. Military and the national anthem have nothing to do with each other.
No. As a matter of fact, the national anthem has nothing to do with patriotism. It was a war song.
I love a losing battle. Francis Scott Key wrote the song when we were losing the Battle of Baltimore. But I love when someone says, thank you for your service. And, you're really saying is, thank God I'm not you. That's all you're saying. Or thank God I went to college. So that's what you're saying. Let's just face it.
You know what my problem with it is? People think it's all about patriotism. You know what? A veteran coming home from war with PTSD or with a missing leg or missing arm doesn't give a good gosh darn if you stood up for the national anthem. He gives a crap if you donated
to where's VA benefits coming from?
Or
if you get a doctor's appointment.
Thank you. And those are the kind of things I do. So I don't feel the need to stand up for the national anthem. I do it because I like to. I don't feel like I'm less American if I don't do it. So don't get on the players because they're trying to make a stand. Get on the owners for half balancing on an issue because they just don't want to make them another mistake because we screwed up the Ray Rice thing and we screwed up the other thing.
And we don't have the problem in baseball and we don't have the problem in hockey. And why don't we have that problem? Because
guaranteed contracts.
Well, guaranteed contracts.
I think that's a huge part to do with it.
It really is the racial makeup of those two sports because it's not. We're down to like 6-7% black in baseball. Right, and in hockey, some really good players actually are
the kid from
Skelly, but it's such a small number. And then we're also talking about Canadians and Swedes and this and that, and they got Canada going on and everything. So it's just football, which is more than 50% African American, and that's the difference, and that's what's going on there. And then there's the lawsuit between Kaepernick and Eric Reed of the NFL. Kaepernick is not getting blacklisted. He's just not getting. He's not getting a contract because he wants starter money and he wants to be a starter. And I don't know that his skills are there. And you know what? The headache, quite frankly, isn't worth it for these teams to sign him.
I totally agree with that. Kaepernick is not getting blacklisted. You know who is? Eric Reed is getting blacklisted.
That's the thing, Eric Reed.
And I would love to see collusion on that. I would love to see a text from some stupid owner saying, we're all not going to sign
The problem is, if you want to prove in collusion, when you are a sports team, you're in the business business to do two things. Really one thing, but it's really two things. One thing, you want to come in first place. That's not what it is. You want to make money. But, ostensibly, you're there to win. So if you are willing to not win because you won't sign this guy, it's like, well, that's your decision, right? You made that decision.
And as we saw with today's decision, to prove any kind of corruption, collusion, or whatever, there has to be a reasonable doubt.
Correct. Absolutely. You've got...
Even if they did it, they still gotta really
exactly. Yeah, it's not enough. There has to be gain on your part if you're going to do, which is why Venditto was acquitted, because the other courts, the Sheldon Silver and the other ones have proven there has to be personal gain proven for you to be convicted as a politician.
He never moved into another house.
Correct.
He never.
Yes, and he also was smart enough never be in the room when all the deals were being made. It was May and it was Genova. It was never him in the room when these things were happening. Might have been his bidding. He was a puppeteer. He was Papa Geppetto, but he was never in the room when those deals were being made. But so there's plausible deniability. But for the Eric Reed thing, but it's also a thing of, what is he, like a defensive back?
Eric Reed is a defensive back. He can also be used as an outside linebacker and occasionally as a nickel corner. And he is better than... I mean, he's one of these guys who would be signed now if not for this.
It's just that nobody cares about defensive backs.
Right.
So it's like, well, look, you can point to a litany of players, be they Darrelle Revis, whatever. They got a shelf life. They only last so long. They get burnt very easily. Ronnie Lott, even his career went to the, and that's why. But the bottom line is, hey, the NFL teams are trying to win, and if they pass on this guy, that's their prerogative. Unless, and we're seeing that idiot on the Long Island Railroad, that video. You see it? That guy?
I saw the That
guy he's 58 years old from Long Beach. And do you see the video of that guy ranting, that racial rant on the Long Island Railroad?
I didn't see the video, but I know what you're talking about.
The Long Beach branch?
Yeah.
Guy, he got it like 6 months later.
They have now, he had to surrender. He was arrested and charges on a bias crime for that.
A hate crime or something.
Hate crime,
I saw that.
So it's, words do have...
Yeah, but here's the thing. Was the lady actually in the video?
What do you mean? Yeah, she's there.
The lady, like the one who was yelling.
She's filming it.
No, I thought it was a third party.
Filming it. Yeah, she's there.
So the guy can go, listen, I was just yelling I wasn't yelling at this woman. He could say,
Oh, they got him dead to right.
I don't know. It's a messed up. You don't want to say that kind of stuff.
Guy's just a moron. They got him dead to right. But they'll do some kind of plea bargain.
But even then, you don't say that stuff. You don't know.
No, I don't.
You don't know who's
on the railroad of all things. Exactly. You don't know who's filming.
Exactly.
It's amazing to think of all the stuff that people did. Never a problem. Now you can film anything, and anything you say, do, whatever it is.
I got news for you. The new train cars that are coming later this year,
they'll have cameras.
Yeah,
absolutely. Just consider that yourself. You're being taped wherever you go. Wherever you go, you're being taped. If you're picking your nose or whatever you're doing, it's on tape somewhere.
Well, that I'd like to display to the public because I want people to know.
Except on the radio.
You can pick your friends. You can pick your nose. You can't pick your friends' noses. Remember that.
No.
516.
Mark, come here.
Present company accepted. 516-572-7440. 516-572-7440.
You could live off the grid though, like.
What you mean, like Dexter after the final episode
about like
harvesting lumber?
Then you need a credit card. Like Ralph Nader used to.
You don't need a credit card. My grandfather, even though he has a credit card, he lived his whole life without a debit card. His whole life.
No, debit cards are different. It's a credit card. You can't certain things. You can't rent a car without a credit card.
What if the guy's not trying to leave his house? What if he's just trying to?
Well, that's the whole thing. If you're going to be a hermit, I mean, that's not.
What if a guy buys?
What if you're a 30-year-old guy whose parents have to take you to court to kick you out?
I know somebody.
Do you see that?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I know somebody who's they rent. They don't have a credit card, and they don't have a debit card. And their place they rent from is not under his name. It's under somebody else's name.
But what does that tell you? They rent, and why? And what's the problem with renting? You have to establish a credit history, so in order to buy,
even to rent, you do.
Yeah, exactly. So
it wasn't under his name.
Yeah,
it's under his brother's name.
Yeah, which is that's bizarre. So
the guy's, even though the guy lives in New York City, he's off the map. It's like the guy doesn't exist.
Yeah, and that's not exactly a good thing. It's that's not exactly.
Doesn't even have a cell phone.
516-572-7440. 516-572-7440. Mark's got the what do they call it? What do they call it? The dark web, right? Mark's got a dark web world going on there.
Mark's an interesting cat. he's very different.
Right.
And you know what I appreciate about it? I came in here, I'm thinking like, I'm going to be the only one who feels about the national anthem thing, because the truth is I just don't care.
No, it doesn't even rise to... You know when you got nothing else going on. I mean, now Dave did make a point. David said, look, you want this Sunday, it's your day off, you've had a long week, blah, blah, blah. I get that. Sake. But it's enough that everyone's like, oh, you got to deal with it at work, all this politically correct world, blah, 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 blah. It's like, it just...
Yeah, I don't mind being politically correct at sporting events, though, because when you're not, then you turn into Philly fans.
Correct.
So I'm actually okay with that.
Or you have the Washington football team who thinks it's okay to call their team what they call their team.